Education has been a top priority of the Aquino administration. In fact, for 2016, it has the biggest budget of the 435 billion pesos for the full rollout of the K-12 education program. Its long-term goal, enhancing the country's competitiveness in the global education. Joining us tonight here at NewsLife is Congressman Romulo, Chairman of the House Committee on Higher Education. Good evening, sir, and welcome to NewsLife.
Yes, hi, Cathy. Thank you for inviting me here, and magandang gabi sa lahat po ng nanonood ng programang ito.
Sir, can you update us on the current status of the implementation of K-12?
Well, K-12 will be implemented by DepEd starting next year. Okay. We know that there are still many challenges before us. The number of classrooms is still there. With respect to the fixing of the programs, with respect to the textbooks, the hiring of teachers, and most especially, what alternatives we will give our professors who will be affected by or displaced by the K-12 implementation next year. Hopefully, before its full implementation, we have found, and DepEd more specifically has found, alternatives or solutions to these problems.
Sir, one of the highlights of the K-12 program is the giving out of options for the senior high school. Can you remind us what are the different options our students can take for the senior high school?
Under the K-12 program, Cathy, when one reaches grade 10 and goes to grade 11, the student will now be choosing between what they call 4 tracks. Okay. Either you choose the academic track, the VocTech track, the arts track, or the sports track. Basically, if you choose the academic track, what the intention there is the graduates under the academic track will proceed to college schooling. Those in the VocTech track should be prepared to be employable already, because the assumption is that they would have had all the skills necessary to be a regular employee. So those are the challenges that faces actually the implementation of K-12.
Sir, how important is the K-12 program in aligning with the goals of the Aquino administration in terms of making the Philippine education more globally competitive?
Well, always the DepEd and CHED would mention that because, of course, many are asking how prepared we are for the K-12 program, but always DepEd and CHED would go back to the, one of their biggest arguments would be that most of the countries in the whole world have already or are already in K-12 mode. So for the Philippines, globally competitive, especially with the coming of the ASEAN regionalization, it is according to DepEd and CHED, it is a necessity that K-12 be implemented.
Sir, earlier you mentioned about the challenges with classrooms and schools not being prepared, but every time you go around here in Metro Manila and nearby provinces, you see the many banners saying that they are senior high school ready and they are prepared for the upcoming K-12 implementation. Well,
I think a lot of the banners that we see, the tarpaulins we see, those are really, I guess, just to motivate our DepEd teachers that, you know, DepEd is doing its best to reach preparedness, that level of preparedness required. But of course, we will see in the coming months how prepared really the DepEd is for the full implementation of this program.
You also mentioned earlier about the displacement of some of our teachers,
yes,
and you proposed a transition fund. What is this fund for? How much? And who will it benefit?
Yes, because as you well know, when K-12 is implemented, assuming it begins next year, then you will have a minimal number of students going to college, meaning that our college professors will not have enough students to teach. So because of this, we proposed a transitional education fund bill for the next 5 years, which totals about 29 billion. Okay. But for the first year of implementation, we had requested for 12 billion. I'm happy to note that although that bill has not passed yet, the government has in fact put in the proposed budget this year for next year about 8.2 billion to be used for the Transitional Education Fund. What is this? Basically, for the teachers, faculty that will be affected, meaning no teachers, no students, then the government will be offering that they can get their master's or doctoral degrees, get a fellowship from the government. So government will effectively be paying for the master's and doctoral degrees of faculty who want to avail of this. Second, for those who have their master's already or doctoral degrees already and do not want to avail of this, then the government will be giving a financial assistance or alternatives so that they can at least they will be able to earn a living during this interim period. And that will also go with our non-teaching personnel.
Sir, do we have any safety nets to make sure that the fund will not be abused or that it will be used properly by those who will be displaced?
Yes, so far, as explained to us in the budget, that the safety nets are really the departments itself being able to properly implement these various programs that they want to implement. But importantly here is we want also that the government is able to detail exactly what the alternatives will be. Because it's very easy to say that you will be an entrepreneur. But an entrepreneur is such a general, has many meanings. So we want actually, like the Department of Labor and Employment, to be more specific on the alternatives that they will be proposing. In the coming months, hopefully, we will be able to get an acceptable answer from the Department of Labor and Employment.
Sir, you are also championing the UNIFAS scholarship program. What is this about and who will it benefit?
Yes. Basically, Cathy, if you will take a look at the data in our country, we have about 1.4 to 1.6 million high school graduates every year. But based on data also provided to us, only about half go directly to college. And the reason probably for this is that it's lack of funds. So under the Bayan law, which is now a law, the top 10 graduates of every public high school in the whole Philippines is now automatically a scholar of the national government if they enroll in a state university or college within the region. The UNIFAS bill provides a wider net to help and assist more students. It provides all the financial assistance that can be provided by the national government, including scholarships, loans, and grants in aid. In fact, under the grants in aid provision of the UNIFAS bill, it is really akin to free college education already, because basically, as long as you're a Filipino, you're enrolled in college, you have no grades that are failing, all are passing, and the only reason why you cannot continue with your schooling is that there are economic problems or the economic situation. Government must step in to help you pay for your tuition fee and other fees. Government must be able to give you a stipend or allowance in order for you to focus on your studies.
Sir, another global trend is with online education where people can actually study using the internet. What is the future of the Philippines in terms of online or distance learning?
Well, actually, Cathy, I would tell you now that last December 2014, we actually passed the Open Distance Learning Act for college education. Under this law, the CHED now is authorized to accredit programs and schools that can provide online education, college, master's, and doctoral degrees. I know currently that it is now becoming a trend worldwide that so many schools are providing for this online education. It is about time that the Philippines also is, and it is in a position to provide this online education, but it must be regulated because at the end of the day, what we protect here are the consumers, the students. We want them to be able to obtain quality education.
Sir, obviously you have done a lot in terms of education, but do you have any other programs that you want to push for in the future, or whether or not it's about education or in other fields for the country?
Well, in education, one of the things that I really discovered was that a big part of this is in the implementation. So we've passed the Scholar ng Bayan Law, we've passed the Open Distance Learning Act, we've in fact also passed the Ladderized Education Law, and hopefully the UNIFAS bill before the year ends. And an important part here will really be the oversight functions of Congress to ensure that these are properly implemented. What we want here is that more Filipino students are able to study college and graduate from college. At the end of the day, we don't want the economic situation to be a hindrance for them. So these are the things that we want to pursue.
And on that note, thank you very much, Congressman Romulo. the chair of the Higher Education Committee here in our Congress. Thank you, sir.